Well, watching the full view now, the IEC has received a number of objections by South Africans wanting to object candidates nominated for the May 8th general elections. Now, among some of the reasons included are state capture, fraud and rape. To discuss this, we're joined by the Deputy Chief Electoral Officer of the IEC Masego Shiburi. Mr. Shiburi, thanks for your time this evening. I think let's get to the crux of how many objections has the IEC received so far?
We've received objections against 53 candidates who represent at least 9 political parties. So that is the totality of the objections that the Commission will consider between now and the 8th of April.
All right. Some of these objections, what do some of them relate to? I know that, of course, possibly we know in light of what we're hearing at the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture, you would have other individuals bringing those to the IEC. What do some of these objections relate to?
The objection traverse a myriad of reasons. However, it is worth mentioning that in law, the competent reasons to raise an objections are the following: that a person is not registered as a voter, and those should not arise because we have verified all the candidates on the list and they are all registered at this point. Secondly, a objection can be competently raised on the basis that a person was tried, convicted and sentenced to a custodial sentence of no less than 12 months without an option of the fine, and that 5 years has not passed since that person has served that judgment. So there are 3 elements. A person must have been tried, they must have been found guilty, they must have been convicted, they must have served a custodial sentence of not less than 12 months without an option on the fine, and 5 years must have passed after they've served that sentence.
So, for example, allegations that are made against many in a forum such as a Commission of Inquiry, like the one that we're seeing in South Africa sitting now, would something like that stand if that kind of objection is brought to the IEC?
If that objection were to be brought to the IEC will look at it. However, we will only adjudicate objection in terms of the criteria set down in terms of our laws and in terms of the Constitution.
So you have until the 8th of April to make a decision on this, is that correct?
The Electoral Commission is until the 8th of April to make a decision on all the 53 individuals against whom objections have been raised.
So 53 from 9 political parties?
That is correct.
All right. So I want to talk about one of the instances that we saw in the run-up to where we are now. The incident involving Karima Brown, journalist Karima Brown, and the EFF leader Julius Malema. That had been brought to your doorstep. Where is that particular complaint now? Where does it sit?
That's correct. We had received a complaint from Ms. Brown in alleging that there is conduct on the part of the leader of the EFF that contravenes the Electoral Code of Conduct. In observance of the rules of natural justice, we had written to Mr. Malema, who has come back to the Electoral Commission on a form of an affidavit to state his side of the story. That report was made available to Ms. Karima Brown, who then requested an opportunity to respond and rebut some of the contents of Mr. Malema's affidavit. We gave her an opportunity until yesterday. We have received her submission. The Commission is considering the matter and it will shortly pronounce on its decisions on the matter.
Is that part of the decision which would be made public then by the 8th of April? Does it fall within that batch?
That doesn't fall within that batch. It is an allegation that the conduct of the EFF and its leader contravene the Electoral Code of Conduct. It is not necessarily a objection hinged on his eligibility to be a candidate in these elections. How
long would that process likely to be?
That process should not take any much further time because we have a set of, we've heard both parties. We're looking at the submissions, and our panel of lawyers will advise us on the matter, and they'll table a recommendation to the Commission. The Commission can either take that recommendation or even ask for further information or take a different decision from the one recommended by candidates. What is critical to add is that in terms of a Constitutional Court judgment in 2016, the Electoral Commission is only required to deal with issues of an administrative nature that deal with the administration of an election. Issues that require the interpretation of the law against a set of facts. The Concord said we should stay away from those and allow the courts to adjudicate on those matters. So it is possible that in this instance, there might be a referral to the Electoral Court if there is a dispute on issues of the law. But
that certainly looks likely at this point. If we look at where the case is, Ms. Brown has already replied to the submission that Mr. Julius Malema has made. So in all likelihood, we could possibly see this particular matter go to the Electoral Court.
That is a decision that the Electoral Commission must still have to make.
All right, but it's not unlikely.
It is not out of the realm of possibilities.
All right. I want to bring, to your attention, of course, I'm sure you've seen in the media as well, the incident involving the ANC Deputy Secretary General Jesse Duarte and involving another journalist as well. Has that particular issue been brought to your attention? Because there are a lot of accusations and counter-accusations that are being made about certain non-support being given to the governing party over the elections. And you see a lot of clashes that are taking place between political parties. We've seen in the instance pertaining to Ms. Brown, as well as a journalist from one of the other broadcast houses.
As we speak, we have not yet received any formal complaint or indication that a complaint will be lodged with the IEC as it relates to the conduct of Ms. Duarte.
All right. Just very quickly, I know we're running out of time. Tomorrow, special votes, applications for special votes open. Bring us up to speed regarding that. A
quick one. From between tomorrow, the 4th and the 18th of April, we will open a window period for people to apply for special votes. Special votes typically is an opportunity to afford people who are unable to go to a voting station to vote in conditions of dignity in areas at which they are confined. The first category are persons who are disabled, infirm, or pregnant, and because of that, they are unable to go to a station. They can apply, and we will visit them at the place at which they are confined. The second category are persons who will be away from their areas of registration on election day, either because they are journalists involved with covering elections or people working in connection with elections. Those persons can apply and they can vote at their voting stations on the 6th and the 7th of May 2019.
6th and 7th of May for those with special votes.
That's correct.
I'm sure I qualify for one of those.
You should qualify.
Working on that day.
But it's by pre-application, and only approved candidates can vote by special vote.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. The IEC Masego Shiburi, of course, bringing us up to speed. Of course, you know that the applications for special votes, if you want that special vote, that opens up tomorrow. Do take advantage of that opportunity. Some sports news now. Let's go to Simon.